On the morning of January 28, 1986, millions of Americans were glued to their televisions, eagerly awaiting the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger. It was to be NASA's 25th shuttle mission, but this launch held special significance. On board was Krista McAuliffe, a high school teacher from New Hampshire, selected to be the first civilian and the first teacher in space. Her presence on the flight had captured the hearts of the nation, inspiring students and teachers alike to dream of the stars. Families, schools, and space enthusiasts tuned in for the launch, unaware that the countdown would lead to one of the most devastating moments in the history of space exploration.
At 11:38 a.m. Eastern Time, after several delays due to weather and technical issues, the countdown finally reached zero. The Challenger lifted off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, with a bright trail of fire and smoke as it ascended into the clear blue sky. On board were 7 astronauts, a crew made up of seasoned space travelers and Krista McAuliffe, whose presence had drawn an unprecedented level of public interest in the mission. Everything seemed normal as the shuttle climbed higher and higher into the atmosphere, with Mission Control monitoring its progress. But what no one could see at that moment was the invisible flaw that would soon bring the mission to a catastrophic end. "73 seconds into the flight, as Challenger soared nearly 50,000 feet above the Earth, disaster struck. A sudden, violent explosion ripped through the shuttle's external fuel tank, and within seconds, the shuttle disintegrated in the sky. The bright plume of smoke and debris twisted into an eerie Y-shaped cloud, a horrific sight witnessed live by millions of people across the nation. The voices of the NASA ground crew fell silent as they tried to comprehend the unimaginable. The 7 astronauts on board, including Krista McAuliffe, perished instantly. The image of the explosion, replayed countless times, would become one of the most searing and tragic moments in the history of space exploration. As the explosion unfolded on live television, viewers struggled to grasp what they had just witnessed. Teachers, students, and families who had been excitedly watching the historic event were suddenly plunged into shock and disbelief. The loss was felt deeply across the country and around the world. News outlets broke into regular programming to cover the disaster, and soon images of the Challenger's destruction filled screens everywhere. President Ronald Reagan, who had been preparing to deliver his State of the Union address that evening, postponed the speech and instead addressed the nation, offering words of comfort and resilience. The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger honored us with the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them. The nation collectively mourned the loss of the 7 astronauts, whose lives had been cut short in pursuit of exploration and knowledge. In the days and weeks following the disaster, NASA and the government launched a full investigation to determine the cause of the explosion. The Rogers Commission, led by former Secretary of State William Rogers, was formed to analyze the events leading up to the launch and to understand what had gone so horribly wrong. The investigation revealed a fatal flaw in the shuttle's design, the failure of an O-ring seal in the right solid rocket booster. The O-ring, a rubber seal designed to prevent hot gases from escaping the rocket booster, had become brittle due to the unusually cold temperatures on the morning of the launch. When the O-ring failed, hot gases leaked, leading to the explosion that destroyed the shuttle. It was a tragedy that could have been avoided, and the Commission's findings exposed deep flaws in NASA's decision-making processes, as engineers had raised concerns about the O-ring's safety before the launch, but their warnings went unheeded. The Challenger crew was composed of 7 individuals who had dedicated their lives to the pursuit of science, exploration, and education. The crew included Commander Francis R. Scobie, pilot Michael J. Smith, mission specialist Ronald McNair, Ellison Onizuka, and Judith Resnick, payload specialist Gregory Jarvis, and Krista McAuliffe, the teacher whose journey into space had inspired so many.
Each member of the crew had trained extensively for the mission and had been fully prepared for the challenges of space travel. In the wake of the disaster, their families, friends, and colleagues mourned deeply, but they were not alone in their grief. Memorials were held across the country, and the names of the Challenger 7 would be forever etched in the annals of space history. Their legacy, however, would be one of courage and dedication, a reminder of the risks inherent in space exploration.
The Challenger disaster sent shockwaves through NASA, prompting a complete reevaluation of the shuttle program. Flights were suspended for nearly 3 years as the agency worked to address the flaws in its procedures and safety protocols. The investigation had revealed not only technical failures but also organizational issues, including the pressure to meet deadlines that had contributed to the decision to proceed with the launch despite safety concerns. NASA undertook a comprehensive overhaul of its systems, with a focus on improving communication between engineers, managers, and decision-makers. Changes were made to the shuttle's design, including the solid rocket boosters, to prevent another tragedy like Challenger from happening again. The disaster became a defining moment for NASA, reminding the world of the extraordinary risks involved in space exploration.
Though the Challenger disaster was a devastating blow to the space program and the nation, it also became a symbol of perseverance and hope. In the years that followed, Krista McAuliffe's mission to inspire students lived on through the establishment of the Challenger Center for Space Science Education, a network of learning centers dedicated to promoting STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math education. These centers provide students with the opportunity to engage in hands-on learning and simulation experiences that capture the spirit of exploration that Krista embodied. The Challenger 7, though lost, continue to inspire future generations of explorers, scientists, and dreamers.
The Challenger disaster remains a sobering reminder of the inherent dangers of space travel. The pursuit of knowledge and exploration has always come with risks, and those who venture into space do so with the understanding that the journey is fraught with danger. But the Challenger crew and all those who have followed in their footsteps also understood the immense rewards of exploration, the potential to unlock new discoveries, to push the boundaries of human knowledge, and to inspire the world. As NASA and other space agencies continue to explore the cosmos, the memory of Challenger serves as both a cautionary tale and a testament to the courage of those who dare to venture beyond Earth's atmosphere.
Today, more than 3 decades after the Challenger explosion, the memory of the tragedy remains vivid in the minds of those who witnessed it. The legacy of the Challenger 7 lives on, not only in the advances made in space safety and exploration, but in the countless lives touched by their bravery and commitment to education and discovery. Each year, memorials are held to honor the crew, and their names are remembered by a new generation of space explorers and scientists. The Challenger disaster may have been a moment of profound loss, but it also marked a turning point in the ongoing journey to the stars, a journey that continues in their honor.